Everybody's talking about a one-person business model right now. One person, one laptop, AI automation from home. And I agree with this, and it can most certainly work. But a lot of people are building these businesses around weak models. That's the problem. Because one person with a bad model is still broke. One person with no margin is stuck. And one person with no real demand is still guessing. The question is not, can one person build a business? The answer is yes. The real question is, can one person build a business around real money, a real opportunity, with pain and a real process? This is why I love surplus funds, because the business can be run at home by one person. But don't confuse working from home and one person for being a small business. Solo does not mean small. The big lie about one-person businesses, and here's where the internet tricks people. AI can write your emails, build your website, organize your notes, your emails, your workflows, help you research faster. It can summarize documents, build systems, but AI does not fix a trash business model. AI does not create money where there's no money there. AI does not make a weak offering strong. AI is not going to make people care about something they don't need. And that's a problem with a lot of these one-person businesses. They're built around noise, another agency, another creator brand, another course or coaching funnel. And I'm not saying those can't work. I'm saying the majority of people jump into these models with no edge, no proof, and no real demand, and no real reason that the market should choose them. Because why should they? They have no proof. A one-person business does not become powerful because it has one person. It becomes powerful because one person controls a valuable process. Surplus funds hits the one-person business model on the head because the business is not built around inventory. You're not buying houses. You're not carrying debt. You're not getting finance. You're not buying it or renting an office. You're not opening a storefront. You don't need to buy any products. You're not managing tenants. You're not begging people to buy something they don't need that they've been called by 100 other people with the same offer. This money already exists from an event that already happened. A foreclosure, a tax sale. They are owed money. You're not calling them to sell them anything. You're informing and educating them on the process of recovering money that is actually owed to them, which is stuck in a legal and procedural maze. There's real pain points behind this. They need your help, and you get to come be in their corner. That's why one person can run this, because the core tasks are controlled tasks. Research, verification, outreach, follow-up, document organization, attorney handoff, and file tracking. That can be done from a laptop, a phone, and a CRM, all from your home office. This is not a side hustle because it's small. It only stays small if the operator stays small. This is how you have to think about it. Your home office is like your control tower. The case starts with the records. You identify the possible surplus. You verify the case, the ownership, to see who has the authority to recover these funds. You find the information on those people. You begin your outreach. You inform, educate, and offer your services to get their money back in a safe and timely manner. That's essentially the business, long story short. It's a simple process, doesn't mean it's easy, but the process can be made simple. And the fact that you can do it from home does not make it less serious. A trader can lose or make millions from home. A consultant can make millions from home. An asset recovery specialist can make millions from home. And we are doing it every day, operating all over the country. The location does not determine the size of the business. The model does. The process does. The discipline does. Do not confuse a home office with a hobby. Now let's talk about the point people are scared to say out loud. The $1 million point. Not little side hustle money. Not beer money. Not pay your phone bill money. I'm talking serious money, because the claim amounts can be serious. Last year alone, our average deal size was $70,000. And we did 156 deals, $10.9 million in recoveries, and we averaged 29.6% on each claim. Now, I think you can do the math. That's major money. That's life-changing money. And we did this with a very small team. But this is where people need to grow up. You're not going to make millions because you watched a video. You're not going to make millions because you looked up and downloaded a county list. You're not going to make millions because you learned the word surplus or excess proceeds and you know the process. You make serious money when you build a serious machine. A machine that can find the files, verify the money, reach the right people, explain the process, get the paperwork done, follow up, and get the clients paid, because that's what it's all about. Execution. The money's not in the idea. The money is the repeatable system. Solo does not mean alone. This is another thing people have to understand. A one-person business does not mean you do absolutely everything on your own. It means you own the engine. There's a difference. You're going to work with attorneys, notaries, private investigators, admin. You're going to have CRM, AI tools, document systems. But you're the main operator. You're the captain. You are steering the ship. That's the power of this model. You don't need some massive team to start or a bunch of capital. You don't need to get a loan or get approved. You don't have to worry about the market or financing. You need a clean process, a system, discipline, and the skill to follow up. You don't need employees on day one. You need command of the process. There's a lot of one-person businesses out there, but surplus funds needs to be at the top of your radar. Most one-person businesses are fighting for attention. You need followers, ads, a brand. Surplus funds is different because demand comes from a serious and real problem in the country today. Foreclosures are on a huge rise. And since the pass of the Supreme Court ruling in 2023, it opened up the entire rest of the country to allow excess proceeds to be claimed by former owners. Prior to the 2023 ruling, only about 15 states were friendly. So 35 additional states have now mandated, county by county, having to open up their books and allow funds like this to be claimed. So the ocean was blue previously. Since the ruling of the Supreme Court in 2023, where they deemed it unconstitutional, it has just tripled the size of our blue ocean. If you can't see the opportunity there, then we don't speak the same language. There are billions, with a B, billions of dollars sitting in every county all around the country, waiting for someone like you to help recover the funds for them. This is a very different conversation than most sales calls. You're not selling hype. You're not selling a product. You're selling trust. You're informing and educating. The strongest businesses are not built around people trying to be convinced about fake things. The strongest businesses are built around people solving real problems. There are 5 jobs for the solo surplus funds operator. The researcher. You have to verify the funds and ownership. You don't want to waste time on leads, chasing ghosts if the money's not there or you're going after the wrong person. The verifier, the communicator, because you need to explain the process, be able to build the trust, get your point across to the right people on the other side of the phone and make them feel good about working with you, because at the end of the day, they have to give you the permission to go get these funds on their behalf. They have to trust you with their money, which is a significant amount most of the time. So you have to know what you're talking about. You have to be able to build trust, and you have to be able to explain the process that in a way that anybody can understand it. No pressure, no weird promises. You give them enough information to why the call matters. The coordinator. You're going to have to get together their documentation, a notary to sign the contracts to legally make this binding to work together, signatures, attorney packets, claim forms, engagements. This is where deals die for sloppy people. And the closer. And I don't mean some fake internet guru closer. I mean a real person who can get someone to make a real decision about a real situation. You're not closing them on some dream. You're closing them on taking action. If one person can own those 5 jobs, one person can smash this business. And I'm telling you from experience, this is very doable. Not only in our business, but people we have taught and that are in our community currently and working this every day. The tools are not the business. Now, yes, we use tools. We use AI every day. We are AI first. We try to automate as much as possible. We use a CRM, templates, drives, subscriptions to multiple outlets. We have skip tracing software. Whatever we can use to help us stay organized and move faster. But again, we use it. It's a tool. It's not the business. AI can certainly make you faster. It's not going to make you more competent. AI can move a task, but it can't replace ownership. The difference between side hustle thinking and real business thinking. And this is where most people lose. They approach surplus funds like a side hustle. They make a few calls. They leave a few messages. They skip some hard records or businesses they might want to look up. They don't follow up. They don't track new files. They don't understand the actual claimant path or legal path. They're not building any attorney relationships. And then they say the business doesn't work. No, the business didn't fail. Their operating standard failed. A side hustler is going to ask, how fast can I get paid? A business owner asks, how do I build a machine that keeps producing? The one person who treats this like a hustle is going to get hustle results. The person who treats this as a company can build a real company. This is what the at-home version looks like when you're operating. You get into your home office, you check your pipeline, you have your follow-ups, your cadences, you're verifying your old and new files, make your calls, you schedule your appointments and documents, prepare attorney packets, you're checking court movement, pushing stalled cases, you keep the machine moving. You're constantly closing new deals, adding to your pipeline, nurturing your other ones, and moving the company forward. That might not look sexy on camera, but a lot of money is made through these boring steps. I just told you last year we did over 156 deals. We averaged $70,000 per deal, and our take home is 30%. If that can't get you out of bed in the morning, then come tell me what you got going on, because I'm going to be pretty excited about it. Those numbers, I've been in a lot of different industries. They take the cake. The best part about it, you can seriously run this from home. You can run it with one laptop. You can even run it off your phone. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's possible. What you can't do is run it with a weak mind, weak follow-up, and weak standards. The setup, it can be small. The standard cannot be. There's a major ethical standard that you need to own when you come into this business. And it's because this is a serious business dealing with serious money, and behind every case is a real family. They're not just leads, they're people. Some lost property, family members. Some are dealing with drama that you have no idea about. Some are skeptical. Some have been contacted 10 or 100 times. Some have never heard about it or don't understand what's going on or the process. So your job's not to pressure people or sell them. Your job is to educate them, inform them what happened, how it happened, when, where, and what's going on. What the process is going to look like, how long it's going to take to get the funds back, and the next steps they need to do to allow you to get that for them. If you want to build for the long term, you can't act like a short-term hustler. This business is perfect for a very specific type of person. Not everybody. A very specific person. Someone who can work alone without falling apart. Someone who can make calls without being weird. Someone who can make clean records and not be lazy. Someone who can follow up without needing motivation. Someone who can be trusted with sensitive conversations. Someone who understands the boring work can create tremendous results. If you've sold cars, solar, real estate, insurance, debt collector, credit repair, anything where you've had to talk to people to build trust, you probably already have the most important skill to be a success here. But you still need the other half. Paperwork, education, the real system that actually works, that you can rinse and repeat over and over and over again. You have to be able to talk, but you also have to be able to verify. So yes, one-person businesses, especially in surplus funds, are very real. Yes, you can run a surplus funds business from your home. And this can be way bigger than some side hustle. This model creates serious money. It's not an if, it's a when. Only if you respect the process. It's not magic, it's not overnight, and it's not passive income. If you need push a button now money, it's not for you. This is public records, verification, outreach, trust building, and being able to close a deal. When one person can control the machine, one person can build something very serious. Again, solo does not mean it has to be small. And home-based doesn't mean it's some hobby. One person with the right model, the right process, and the right standard can build something most people with a full team still couldn't touch. That's the difference between a side hustle and a real business. Inside Surplus Fund Secrets, we teach this as a real business model, not some side hustle. How to find the records, verify the money, contact the right people, coordinate the correct documents, work through counsel, and build a machine from home. And you don't have to do this alone either. Most people in our community work together with us, and we love doing that because we know they're doing it the right way. Book a call, let's talk.